Originally slated to release in 1.17, bundles have been in development limbo for about a year and a half now, and I can't take it anymore. I need bundles in my Minecraft life, and let me tell you why. You see, bundles get a lot of hate, but in all honesty, I just think it's a big misunderstanding. I've seen many people refer to bundles as early game shulker boxes, and honestly, I don't think that's the case whatsoever, but it makes sense why people think of them that way. After all, things like shulker boxes, chests, ender chests, at their core, they are all here to increase the storage capacity of the player. So it makes sense when Mojang introduced the bundle, something you put items into, much like you put items into a shulker box or a chest, the community would see them as overlapping functions. But there is a fundamental difference between something like a shulker box and something like the bundle. Shulker boxes basically just expand the player's inventory and make things easier to move around in bulk. Bundles function less like a shulker box and more like an inventory slot modifier. And that's an important distinction. Not a whole other inventory, an inventory slot. Instead of giving more inventory space, like a shulker box or a chest, it modifies the existing inventory to function differently. I don't think about bundles as more inventory. I think about bundles as modified inventory. For example, this inventory slot can hold up to 1 stack of one item. However, with the bundle, it can hold up to 1 stack of a variety of items, which is so stinking cool. And it's fundamentally different than a shulker box. Also, it complements shulker boxes so beautifully. For example, we're here in my storage area and I have a shulker box full of all of the different blocks that I want to use here. There is a large variety of blocks here that I am going to use, and they currently take up 17 inventory slots of a shulker box. But if we use the bundle and modify one of these slots, we can pick up all of these little tiny various items and condense all of these things down to a mere 6 inventory slots. And I haven't even filled up the entire bundle yet. This sort of thing is incredibly useful. Here's another example of another project that I have going on here. I just brought out this shulker box with all of the materials that I need. Now, obviously, there's a lot of non-stackable stuff in here, and we used up 25 inventory slots. But we got this name tag, we got these composters, a singular redstone torch, and 1 piston. These slots could hold up to like 63 more items if we had the bundle. So with the bundle, if I collect all of these little tiny items, I think we can even take that guy. Look at that. Yes, we can. We've cleaned this inventory up so much. Now we're only using 18 available slots here. We cleaned up 7 shulker box slots with 1 singular bundle. These things are not early game shulker boxes. They are intended for a different mechanic entirely, and I am all for it, especially for when these projects are all done and you've got all sorts of weird random stuff in your shulker boxes that you do eventually want to take back, but you need to make so many trips. The bundles, as demonstrated here, could do a fantastic job of condensing your inventory and getting the most out of each and every inventory slot. Now, I understand bundles are not the end-all be-all solution to the inventory problem that Minecraft has. But one of the most common things I saw when people were discussing the bundles when they were first announced was, why not just increase the player's inventory slots? Now, I don't disagree with that. In fact, with how big and how many hundreds and hundreds of new blocks that Minecraft has, I think an inventory update is definitely justifiable. But in regards to the bundle, it just wasn't designed for that. If anything, shulker boxes were designed for that, to increase that storage capacity. The bundles have a different purpose and a different function altogether. Shulker boxes are for capacity, bundles are for organization and condensation. Bundles are not the end-all be-all solution, but I think they help radically more than a lot of people may give them credit for. Another, perhaps more obvious complaint is the fact that they can only hold one stack of items, which makes them basically essentially useless for non-stackable items. A lot of people suggested maybe make it so that you can stack like 3 non-stackables in bundles. Now on one hand, you could argue that that is exactly what Shulker boxes are for. On the other hand, if they did update bundles and they were able to hold more than one unstackable at a time, I don't know, I'd be pretty happy with that. Like, I ain't gonna complain about that. I don't think that would make the bundles super overpowered, even though I don't think that's necessarily what the bundles were intended to do. I wouldn't complain if they did that. It'd be kind of cool, honestly. But I completely understand, like I said, it's all about the inventory slot being utilized, not necessarily more capacity of inventory. Another strange negative thing about bundles is a lot of people don't like the fact that you actually have to farm and find bunnies. Now, personally, I'm biased because I really love rabbits and bunnies in Minecraft, and personally, I've never really had trouble finding and farming them. They're one of my favorite things to farm in Minecraft for some reason. Now, I've also heard that they are a bit clunky, and yeah, I'll give you that. They are a little bit clunky how you have to go over every single inventory slot and right click everything. I do wish you could just hover over with right click and just pick up everything that could fit into your bundle. And doing the same thing backwards would also be beneficial in my opinion. I do appreciate the little touch of detail where, like a real life bag, the first thing you put in there is the last thing that comes out, because the first thing you put in a bag is way down at the bottom and you have to take everything else out to get to the thing. So I appreciate that little bit of realism. I do also appreciate the fact that you can just throw everything out of the bag. It feels pretty cathartic, if you ask me. Now, there are just so many situations where I find myself with an inventory that's just so chaotic and crazy because Minecraft has so many different unique items. If I go caving and there's multiple different types of ore, if I fought some mobs, if I randomly picked up a seed or went to go grab some cactus, or if you're going to find different farmable items from different biomes, having this cluttered inventory all be able to get organized and picked up all the way into one inventory slot is absolutely incredible, and there's still room to go with that thing. This is incredible. It's still surprising to me. I mean, say what you want, but this little practice just blows my mind every single time I do it. As I said, they're probably not the end-all be-all solution to Minecraft's inventory problem, but I do think they are a very well-designed and clever solution to one of the handful of problems that Minecraft's inventory has. I value them so much as an item, and I would love to get my hands on them. In fact, I might just use this data pack that I'm using here in this video in my regular Minecraft experience. They could really help my efficiency through this brand new world that I've created. Let me know your thoughts on bundles in the comment section below or in my Discord. And for more of this incredible Minecraft experience, be sure to subscribe and stay beautiful.